and number line. So at the end of this module, the students were able to, first you have to define numbers and number lines. You have to describe natural numbers and number lines, and differentiate natural numbers and whole numbers, interpret set of natural numbers and operations of natural numbers and integers. You have to use properties of natural numbers, explain operations with natural numbers and other operations with integers, construe different rules on multiplication and division of integers, and last is to solve examples related to numbers and integers. So, ito yung key vocabulary na madalas makita sa real numbers and number lines. So, ito ay terms or terminologies. We have the real number, non-integers, numbers, natural numbers, plot, rational number, integer, whole numbers, number line, absolute value, irrational number, negative number, zero, and graph. So, ito yung kailangang hanapin nyo sa internet, yung mga meaning yan, yung key vocabularies na ito. Okay, now, for our examples, yung real numbers are yung pi natin, so that is 3.1416, yung e natin na 2.7, we have the improper fraction 22/7, the radical, square root of 2, square root of 3, square root of 7, 3/4 or proper fraction, 27/11, 9i, yung imaginary number natin, negative integers, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Yung 1, 2, 3 is a counting number and yung 0 is a whole number. Okay, yung real number natin, nahahati siya sa dalawa. So, we have rational numbers and irrational numbers with that examples. Then, under naman ng rational numbers, we have two types, integers and non-integers. When you say integers, sila yung positive digit na whole number, including 0, and down to the negative whole number, yung negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and etc. Yung non-integers naman, yun yung nasa kalagitnaan nito. So, halimbawa kasi yung integers na negative 2 up to positive 3, nandun siya sa number line. So, ang non-integers, sila yung hindi kasali doon. Nandun sila sa in-between. Okay, so under naman ng integers, we have the whole number. So, as I have said earlier, yung whole number is a counting digit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. plus the 0. While the negative numbers are the numbers located on the left side of the number line, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5, etc. Then, under the whole number, we have the natural numbers. Yung natural numbers natin na 1, 2, 3, 1 to 8 is the counting number. So, etc. yan, dot. And because number is infinite, so walang hangganan. And then, included yung 0. Now, ito naman yung definition niya. When you say real numbers, these are set of numbers that is formed by combining the rational and irrational. Like yung example natin kanina, kapag sinabi natin na real numbers, nandun yung rational at saka irrational numbers. So when you say naman irrational numbers, those set of numbers whose decimal representation are neither terminating nor repeating. So, when you say terminating, napuputol siya. At kapag ka naman repeating, nauulit. Meron kasi mga decimal, halimbawa, 3.333, diba? 3.44444, etc. No? Repeating yun. And it cannot be expressed as a quotient of integers. Yung kaibahan naman ng rational numbers, set of all numbers naman siya, which can be expressed in a fraction, kunyari, where yung A is the numerator and B is the denominator, pareho silang integers. And then, hindi pwedeng mangyari na yung denominator natin na B ay equal to 0 kasi magiging siyang indefinite number. So, written B is not equal to 0. It can be expressed as, so pwede siyang ma-terminate, halimbawa 2.7, yung decimal digit niya ay nag-terminate or tumigil. At pwede din siyang maging repeating decimals like yung 3.333, 6.6666666, ganon. So, repeating decimals ang tawag doon. And under sila ng rational numbers. Next. When you say non-integers naman, those are set of all numbers that is neither a positive whole number nor a negative whole number nor zero. So, hindi nga siya whole number, hindi rin siya negative whole number, at hindi rin siya zero. So, yun yung mga pwedeng decimals, pwedeng fractions, or imaginary numbers. So, yun yung tinatawag natin na non-integers. Then when you see integers naman, those are set of numbers formed by positive whole numbers, negative whole numbers, including the zero. So when you say negative numbers naman, yun yung number less than 0. Yung value niya ay mas maliit pa kumpara kay 0 and usually mean a value that is deficit or shortage. Halimbawa, when you count or when you subtract 3 minus 5, ang lalabas ay negative 2. So meron kasi siyang kulang or shortage. Next, whole numbers or buo yung numbers, hindi siya fraction or hindi siya part. Those are set of numbers formed by adding 0 to that set of natural number. So yung 0 naman natin, it denotes the absence of all magnitude or quantity. So halimbawa, 1, meron siyang movement kasi meron siyang magnitude or meron siyang quantity. Pero kapag 0 kasi wala siyang value. Unless otherwise nasa dulo siya ng number, say, sa tens or sa hundreds or sa thousands. Okay. And the last one is natural numbers. So ito naman yung numbers used for counting. So ito yung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. hanggang infinity. So yun ang tawag sa mga numbers na ito. Okay. For this representation, meron dyan ang set of numbers. Yung unang bilog, 1 to 5, ... those are natural numbers. While when we include 0, yung numbers to the left, ang tawag na dyan ay whole numbers. Ito namang representation na ito ay tinatawag natin na number line. To the right, merong positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then may arrow, ibig sabihin tuloy-tuloy. Those numbers are positive numbers or natural numbers, counting numbers. Habang lumalayo siya sa 0, yung positive numbers, lumalaki yung value niya. Yung 0, walang value. At doon naman sa left side niya, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, ganon. So habang lumalayo naman, yung negative sa 0, lumiliit yung value niya. Okay? Now, determine which of the numbers, ito yung sample number 1 natin. Determine which of the numbers given below are integers, rational numbers, irrational numbers, real numbers, and natural and non-integers. So ito lang yung pamimilian natin. So sinabi natin na yung integers ay pwedeng negative whole number, pwede siyang positive whole number, or kaya 0. Okay, so ito yung example. Yung integers dyan ay 0, 6, 7, 41, at saka 51. Yung rational numbers naman ay negative 0.2, 0, 0.3 bar line, 6, 7, 41, and 51. And then the third one is irrational numbers, yung 0.71, 771, 777, 1, 77771, ... yung pi. The real number example is negative 0.2, 0, 0.3 bar line, 6, 7, 41, 51, 0.71, 771, 7771, 77771, ... and pi. Then the natural numbers or counting numbers dyan ay 6, 7, 41, and 51. And lastly, the non-integers is negative 0.2 and 0.3 bar line. Next. So kapag sinabi naman natin na number line, katulad nung sinabi ko kanina, it used to show the sets of natural numbers. So whole numbers and integers. Also, it can be used to show the set of rational numbers. Makikita din dito yung rational numbers. So ito yung mga numbers na wala siya sa integers or nasa pagitan siya ng integers. The point that corresponds to a number is a graph of number, and drawing the point is called graphing the number or plotting the point. So ito lahat integers yan. To the right are whole numbers or natural numbers, and to the left is are negative numbers naman, yung kulay pula. Next, sample problem number 2. Graph the numbers negative 2.3 and 1/2 on the number line. So kung titingnan nyo yung negative 2.3 at saka 1/2, hindi siya whole numbers, diba? So ibig sabihin, yung negative 2.3 at saka 1/2, nasa pagitan siya ng dalawang whole number. So let's see if tama ba tayo. Yes. So yung negative 2.3 ay nasa pagitan ng negative 2 at saka negative 3. Hindi naman siya mukhang nasa gitna, pero mas malapit siya sa negative 2. Okay? And then yung 1/2 naman or 0.5 ay nasa pagitan ng 0 at saka positive 1. So, ganun tayo mag-graph ng numbers sa number line. Next, graph the numbers negative 3 and negative 5 on the number line and write two inequalities that compare the two numbers. So, when you say inequalities, ito yung greater than, less than, equal to, or approximately equal, diba? So, that is inequality. So, kapag ka negative 3 at saka negative 5, alin ang mas mataas doon at alin ang mas mababa? Okay, so when you graph that, meron tayong negative 5 at saka negative 3, and then sabi ko nga, kapag negative integers tayo, habang lumalayo siya sa 0, lumalayo yung number sa 0, lumiliit siya. So, by reading inequalities, negative 5 is less than, mas maliit yung negative 5 kumpara sa negative 3. Or otherwise, pwede nating sabihin na mas malaki yung negative 3 kumpara sa negative 5. Okay? Sample problem number 4, graph the numbers negative 2, 4, 0, 1.5, 1 half, negative 3 halves, and negative 2.5 on the number line and write the numbers in increasing order. So when you say increasing order, mula siya sa negative side, sa pinakamaliit, papunta sa 0, papunta sa positive side, sa pinakamalaki, or pinakamas maraming value. Okay? So, ito yung kanyang graph. We have negative 2.5. Siya yung pinakamaliit. Next to that is negative 2. Then, negative 3 halves. Followed by 0. The next is 1 half or 0.5. And then 1.5. And then last is yung whole number na 4. So, kung titingnan natin yung number line from the left to the right, yun yung increasing order. So that is negative 2.5, negative 2, negative 3 half, 0, 1 half, 1.5, and 4. So, when we say naman decreasing order, mag-uumpisa tayo sa right to the left. So, that would be 4, 1.5, 1 half, 0, negative 3 halves, negative 2, and negative 2.5. So, ganun lang po siya. Next, so what is absolute value? So kapag sinabi nating absolute value, it is the distance between the origin and the point representing the real number. So when you say absolute value, regardless of negative or positive sign, pareho lang siya kasi wala tayong negative distance, diba? When we say lumakad ka ng paurong, diba, that is negative distance dapat. Pero when you compute the distance, pareho lang siya nung lumakad ka ng papunta sa harap, diba? So, the distance of negative 5 to the origin is 5 units. So, nawala yung negative. And the distance of 5 to the origin is also 5 units. Positive naman yun. Wala din naman siyang sign. Okay? So, sample problem number 5. Evaluate and graph the numbers absolute value 2.3 and absolute value of negative 1 half on the number line. So, kapag absolute value, sabi natin, wala siyang negative sign kasi yung negative 1 half, meron siyang negative sign. Okay? Pero, dahil absolute value siya, that is equals to 1 half. And then, yung 2.3, positive yun. Absolute value niya is also 2.3. Nawala din yung kanyang positive sign. Although, kapag ganito, na-eliminate lang siya, but then, yung value niya talaga is positive. So, it means that yung absolute value pala, tinatanggal lang natin yung negative sign niya. Okay, at ginagawa natin siyang lahat positive. So, we come now to the properties of real numbers. So, meron tayong ilan to? Okay, in this table, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pero doon sa module, meron akong additional doon. First is the commutative property. So, when you say commutative property, kung nag-a-add tayo ng numbers or ng letters, kahit magkabaliktad siya, pareho lang din ang sagot. Halimbawa, A plus B is equals to B plus A. So, in numeral, halimbawa, 3 plus 4 is equals to 4 plus 3. So, pareho naman yung sagot doon na 7. Sa multiplication, ganun din yung commutative property, So, when you multiply A times B, that is also equals to B times A. Kahit magkabaliktad, so yun yung ibig sabihin ng commutative property, kahit ano yung arrangement, pareho naman yung sagot. The next one is associative property. So, when you say associative property, meron siyang grouping. Yung grouping na yun, say for instance, A plus the quantity B plus C is also equals to the quantity A plus B plus C. Kasi yung quantity, naka-enclose siya doon sa parentheses. And that is also applied to multiplication. Okay? While in distributive property naman, from the word distribute, yung nasa labas ng quantity or yung nasa labas ng parentheses, ipapasok mo siya doon individually sa dalawang nasa loob ng quantity. So, A times the quantity B plus C is equals to A plus B, A times B plus A times C. Yung dot kasi dyan is times, kasi hindi tayo pwedeng maglagay ng X at pwede natin siyang basahin na X value at hindi multiply. So, when you say identity property naman, ito yung constant, para siyang principle, theorem, na hindi na siya nababago. So, A plus 0, alam natin na yung 0, wala siyang magnitude at wala siyang quantity. The answer is always the number itself. Okay? And kapag nag-multiply naman tayo ng any number multiplied by 1, the answer is the number itself. Okay? The inverse property naman, so this is come with the positive and negative sign. Okay? So when we add a positive number plus the negative number, cancelled siya and that would be equal to 0. And kapag ka nag-multiply naman tayo ng whole number 1 times 1 over A, that is reciprocal of A, and it will result to 1. Okay, so based on the closure property definitions, natural numbers are always closed under addition and multiplications. The addition and multiplication of two or more natural numbers will always yield a natural number. So kapag ka daw tayo nag-add at nag-multiply ng natural numbers, two or more natural numbers, ang mangyayari, ang sagot ay always siya na natural number. And in the case of subtraction and division, ito yung parang exclusion niya. Natural numbers do not obey closure property. Hindi siya ganun mangyayari. So which means, subtracting or dividing two natural numbers might not give a natural number as a result. So halimbawa, sa addition, 1 plus 2 is equals to 3, 3 plus 4 is equals to 7, lahat yon natural number. Sa multiplication, ganun din. When we multiply 2 times 3, that is equals to 6, and 5 times 4 is equals to 20. Pareho din silang natural number, including the result. But when we subtract 9 minus 5, that is 4. So in this case, natural number pa yon. Pero kapag yung sinubtract natin 3 minus 5, ang lalabas ay negative 2 or meron siyang deficit. Meron siya kulang, and that follows negative sign, negative 2. And that is not a natural number or counting number. Same with the division process. When we divide 10 divided by 5, ang sagot ay 2, lahat yun ay natural numbers. But when we divide 10 divided by 3, ang lalabas ay in decimal form. No, meron tayong 3.33333. And that 3.333 is not a natural number. So, ganun yung ibig sabihin or ganun yung meaning ng closure property. Okay. So, next. When we say associative property naman, it explains that addition and multiplication of numbers are possible regardless of how they are grouped. So sabi ko nga doon sa formula kanina, meron silang grouping, and we mean the numbers which are given inside the parentheses or yung quantity. Suppose you are adding 3 numbers, say 2, 5, and 6 altogether, then even if we group the numbers in addition procedure such as 2 plus, ipasok natin yung 5 plus 6, meaning yun yung uunahin. 5 plus 6 is 11 plus 2 is equals to 13. Pareho lang siya nung quantity 2 plus 5 plus 6. So, unahin natin yung nasa loob ng parentheses. 2 plus 5 is 7 plus 6 is also 13. So, the result in both ways will be the same. The same rule applies to multiplications naman. And this property is almost similar to commutative property where only two numbers are being used. So, ito yon yung example kanina. Sa multiplication, when we multiply 2 times quantity 5 times 6, that is equals to quantity 2 times 5 times 6 also. Unahin natin yung 5 times 6 nasa loob ng parentheses sa left side. So that is 30 times 2, ang lalabas ay 60. Sa right side naman, unahin natin yung nasa parentheses na 2 times 5, that is 10, times yung nasa labas na 6, and lalabas din siya na 60. So that is associative property. Now, let us come to commutative property. So in mathematics, commutative property or commutative law explains that orders of terms doesn't matter while performing arithmetic operations. So kahit daw alin yung order, kahit ano mauna, no? This property is applicable only for addition and subtraction processes. Okay? So ayun ang binilinaw naman dyan, na yung commutative property, magagamit lang natin siya. It is applicable only for addition and multiplication processes. Thus, it means we can change the position or swap the numbers when adding or multiplying any two numbers. Then, by definition naman, yung distributive property, it explains that the operation performed on numbers available in brackets that can be distributed. When you say distributed, lahat sila meron kung ano yung nasa labas. So, for each number outside of the bracket, it is one of the most frequently used properties in math. And the other two major properties are commutative and associative property. Katulad dito nasa baba, what is the number 2? 2 times the quantity 4 plus 3. So, ang mangyayari, yung 2, i-distribute natin siya sa 4 at saka 3. 2 times 4 plus 2 times 3, and the answer is 14. Now, let us solve example on number line. Sabi dyan, example 1. A flower is hidden behind an integer which is at a position 7 less than the spot where the butterfly is placed. Can you find the integer? So sabi daw, yung bulaklak ay nakatago doon sa isang integer. Hindi naman sinabi kung negative or positive. Pero nakalagay dyan, yung position niya ay 7 less than. Ibig sabihin, mas maliit. So negative siya kasi as you can see, yung butterfly ay nasa 4 at mas maliit ng 7 beses or 7 step yung integer na kinalalagyan ng flowers. So that is 4 minus 7, and that is negative 3. So ibig sabihin dito sa negative 3, gagalaw lang from 4 to negative 3 na negative 7 step, nandun yung flower. Next, show the following addition on a number line. So when we say 300 plus 500, lalabas ka agad na that is 800, diba? So kaya lang ang titingnan natin dito, show the following addition daw. Paano tayo nag-solve? So meaning, i-plot natin yung 300 at saka i-plot natin yung 800. Okay? Kasi in between dyan ng 300 to 800 ay yun yung ating inad na 500. Ayun. So mayroon tayong 5 tagwa 100 or 5 step na tagwa 100, and that is equals to 500. So meaning from 300 lumipad or nagkaroon ng 5 times na step na tagwa 100, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and the final step or the final position is on the 800 whole number dyan sa number line na yan. Now, represents 2 times 4 on a number line. 2 times 4. Diba? Ibig sabihin, 2 ulit na tag-aapat. And that is like this. So, 0 to 4 and then 4 to 8. 2 ulit na tag-4 on the number line. The number line shows 2 groups with 4 equal intervals. And that ends with our module number 1 or lecture number 1. This is an additional insights and lecture. You can just download, read, and study module number 1 entitled Numbers and Number Line. Thank you.